Yo, what's good? What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Prodcast with Prodigy. I'm your host with the most. Hey, listen up today, guys. We got one of the hottest producers in the IE right now, Inland Empire, if y'all don't know. Hey, we gonna make some noise right here. If you don't know, now you know. Here's my boy, Mitro the CEO.
Appreciate the introduction. Glad to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes, sir. It's a blessing for you to come by. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Just gearing up for the next release, you know what I mean? Staying busy. It's a lot going on right now that's in motion. So just trying to keep it going, keep the momentum going.
Yes, sir. So give the people a little bit of, specs about what you are, what you do, how long you've been in the game and stuff like that.
I've been producing over 10 years. Been around for a long time, work with a lot of, you could say new West Coast legends, Glasses Malone and Dom Kennedy.
Okay.
So we did like the Tupac Must Die record for Glasses Malone that came out a few years ago. Money Don't Stop with Dom. But mainly I focus on my own like core of my label. I have a label called Timeless Music, and I have 5 artists that I'm like developing. So I'm just kind of focused on like putting out a lot of their music, producing all of that, recording it, mixing it, and kind of just pumping it out. We kind of integrated vertically, so it's like a one-stop shop. So yeah, I'm kind of just focused on that, kind of like the Master P, Cash Money, early independent days, but just kind of doing it digitally. So we got like a lot of dope artists that we just focused on building.
Yeah, that's tight. That's something I did want to bring up like later on is like, the difference between like running a record label now that's like not necessarily actual records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not selling it, how you said it was all digital and stuff like that. But before we get into that, I want to go more about you, like growing up and stuff like that. So tell me about your childhood, where you grew up at.
I grew up in LA. I grew up in South Central LA till I was a teen, and then I moved out here to the IE with my pops. So I live with my mom, and then I live with my dad. And I've been out here the last 20-something years, so we've been, what else I'll say? I went to music school. I went to Musicians Institute in 2008, met my partners, the Chromatics, shout out to G Money, Beats by Tay, So us three just kind of been a collective since about 2008, 2009, just doing a lot of music together and just producing for like the West Coast, because that was where I felt the next generation was coming. I was just around, Nipsey Hussle, Kendrick Lamar, and Dom and Glasses. So I just seen like, damn, these guys are the future. Like, so it was like, I'm not trying to go send beats to Lil Wayne or Rick Ross. They already made it. You know what I mean? So It was like, these guys are the next ones. So I wanted to try to like foster that and try to build that. So that was what I kind of focused on and did, for a while. And now I'm kind of doing the same thing now in the IE since 2018, I would say, 19. Really been focused out here. I've been making a lot of headway. So that's, I would say, where we at today.
Yeah, for sure. So what did your parents do when you was growing up, like young and like teenage years?
My mom, she had like a few jobs and different things, but mainly like working for like the county. And then my dad, he's been a firefighter, paramedic, pretty much my whole life. So I used to actually do that as well when I was like 19, 20, but it really wasn't my passion. I didn't feel like that was my purpose. So I kind of just stopped doing that. The music was always calling me. My grandfather was a singer in the 1950s and 60s, a group called the Platters. They're like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. So like 80 million records. So I kind of want to live up to that legacy, and I'm the only person that does music in my family. So that's where kind of my label is called Timeless Music, because I want to do the same thing. I still hear my grandfather's music today, and it came out 70 years ago. So I'm like, the music I'm making today, I want people to hear it in 2090 and be like, damn, this is what 2020 sounded like. This is what was cracking. And a lot of people, when they making music, they don't really be thinking that far in advance. They just making like microwave. I'll be kind of making that slow cooker, like, it might take a little longer, but that meal, you go to sleep after that meal. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what we be making over here at my label and stuff. And when people hear it, they, I feel like what I say, the quality backs up what I'm saying. When people hear it, they're like, oh, okay, I see why he thinks the way he do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. So it's always just been like in your blood, like, I want to do this music stuff.
Yeah, it's just always been something that's just been pulling at me. Like, like the music just always intrigued me. It's just always, and I never wanted to rap or none of that. It was just the beats, like the music, like who puts the records together, who's the mastermind behind it that the people don't see. You know what I mean? I was always into that side of it. So yeah.
So growing up, did you always want to just make like rap, or you said that he was in a rock group, your grandfather?
Yeah, they were. It was like kind of like early like Temptations type stuff. I mean, they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because that's what it would just fit into. You know what I mean? That Elvis vibe and all those different things. But to answer your question, no, I do pop. We've done music for like TV, commercials, like, you know, stuff like that. So we're real versatile. We have an R&B artist. She gonna be on here. Her name's Nikina. So we have a lot of versatility between me, Dante, G Money. You know, we got all the bases covered. We met at music school, so we very versatile. But I try to take care of home first, which is hip hop, and then it's West Coast hip hop. You know what I mean? So I don't be trying to make a bunch of trap music or a bunch of New York music. I like take care of home. Like when you hear my music, if you're a California artist, it's gonna sound like, oh, this sounds like California.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Like it's supposed to sound like that in my eyes, anyway, and how I feel. So I try to represent that and bring that to it. We got enough of the other stuff playing, so I try to bring, our culture. I try to keep our culture going, you know, which is the West.
Yeah, yes, sir. So at what point did, like, obviously you've always been into music and wanted to like make it and stuff like that, but at one point did you like, were you like, damn, I'm gonna just like do it for real, like I'm gonna fully like try and make these beats, or was it just like a gradual thing?
I think once I really, because I started, I would say, messing with it a little bit in college, kind of learning a little bit with it, but in 2004, I would say that's when I really just was like, no, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm really gonna do just this. I don't care how long it takes. Like, yeah, here we are, 2023, you know, and I'm not rich and famous or none of that, but I'm not nowhere near like, oh, I'm running out of steam or nothing. I'm like, man, this is the era I've been waiting for. Now I really feel unstoppable. Like, man, y'all let me get this far? Oh, y'all done messed up now. Like, you really done messed up that I got all access to this and this and this, and I can do all these things. It's like, oh, it used to be hard in 07, 09. It was like a struggle. Now it's like, I was waiting. You know what I mean? Especially when I started, I look at it like that's when they were saying, like, hip-hop is dead. And, like, Nas put out an album 2008, hip-hop is dead. And because 99, 2000, LimeWire, those things hit, sales start just declining for the whole decade. I pop up in 04, like, hey, I want to do this. That's like when Hiroshima got hit with the bomb or something. It's like all radiation, and I show up like, this is a good spot to start. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't. Now when I look back, I'll be like, man, that was a crazy time. 2007, not knowing how to upload music on iTunes, like people having music on iTunes and being like, how do they do that? Like, we were still trying to sell CDs and stuff, and I'm like, nobody's buying CDs, and it was just a hectic time. So to wait for this digital infrastructure to be built, and now in 2020s, seeing like AI technology and all these things, just like, bruh, this is the era I like waited on, and now I got really good at making music now too during that whole time. So I look at people that's been making music 2 years or 3 years, it's like, it's not even close. Like, you know what I mean? Because I've been able to go through all these things till now. It's just endless opportunity, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it right now.
I wanted to ask you, you said you went to like music school, right?
Yeah.
So what do you exactly like learn in those classes and stuff? Is it just basic information, or do you like go and like study like one specific genre?
Man, it's like a full, like, it's like how regular college is, but it's all music. So like I went for music production. So I went to school Monday through Friday from 8 to 3. I had to drive from the IE to LA, get up at 6 and sit in traffic all the way to get there till 9:30, sit in class till 3 p.m., 4, and then sit in traffic to come home. You know what I mean? My son was 1, you know what I mean, at that time, 2 years old. So basically, to answer your question, they give you keyboard, like, classes. I had to have keyboard reading, where we're reading music. I had ear training classes where they be playing music and you have to figure out the intervals, you know what I mean, the spaces, this note to this note, what's that, you know, how many notes is that, and being able to recognize that. So when you listen to songs, you're able to go, oh, this chord progression is going 1, 4, 5, and understand why it's making people move the way it's moving. I had synthesis classes where you're just tweaking sounds, like synths and how they work, and oscillators and filters, and just all of these little details where once you put all those things together, the music sounds like what you hear coming from my label, you know what I mean? So it's me and my 2 partners, and all of us been doing music over 15 years. So it's like you got 50 years of experience collectively when you're hearing our music. It's not we just in there clicking some stuff and randomly guessing. Like, no, we know exactly what we doing and what we aiming for. So this is like a formula at this point now. It's like Ford making cars. It's like you just want a yellow truck. Okay, boom. Here you go. A white car, a coupe. What you want? Like, you know what I mean? We could just do it at that point. Now it's just getting millions of people to hear it. So they go, oh, you know what I mean? This is worth listening to and not just watered down. I feel like a lot of stuff is watered down out here. So we don't try to bring that at all.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know y'all learn like the history of music or just like how
history, all that. Like the reason, like when people be like Detroit beats and LA rappers, right? And there's that connection, learning the history of like why Ohio and like Detroit and like California are connected musically, because they show you from like the 1920s and how it changed to this style of the 30s, and in the 50s this came and this was popular, and all the way to like Nelly and Eminem and like today's music and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They explain all those things. You can kind of see like, oh, this is why this works. It's not random. You know what I mean? It's a science. That's why Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. It's a science. He's not guessing. Like there's a formula to what's going on. The average person is just, they just are like, whatever, it's just music. You know what I mean? But it's super detailed. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's way crazier than people. I still don't even think as valuable as music is to people, if you just eliminated all the music in the world, people would like lose it. Like imagine if you just couldn't hear any music anywhere. Like they just eliminated it. People would trip. But we sell songs for like 99 cents and they pay you a third of a penny for streaming. It's almost like they treat it like it's just whatever, but it's like a huge part of culture and stuff. We like live to the music and stuff. So you kind of create these moments and stuff that people live in, I guess, through the music. So yeah, it's a crazy thing. But
do you think that's important as like a producer to know like the history and how it all connects, or do you think it's more of just like good general knowledge to have?
No, I think it matters. I think you can tell the difference, because there'd be a lot of dudes that's I don't want to bring up the beat maker versus producer argument, but there's people that make beats, but they don't really understand like putting together records, like, you know what I mean, and like why a song could be like the next level, or just the little details, the small details. And like it's like basketball. It's like Kobe and J.R. Smith are both playing basketball, but one is just paying attention way more than the other one, and his results show that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like his footwork shows that, his form, his balance, all these different details, they add up, they compound to greatness. You know what I mean? It's not, Drake's not out there guessing. You know what I mean? He knows exactly what he's doing. It's calculated. It's very, very calculated. So I think it matters a lot, and I wish more people, since music is so accessible and easy to create now because of laptops and software and stuff, like people feel like, oh, I could just, throw some stuff together, and people kind of treat the music like a prostitute almost. Like they just try to pimp it out. Like, let me see if I can get a hit real quick and like make $1 million and just, get some girls and, it's just going to be owned. And it's like, instead of looking at it like, man, it's a real culture and a real like puzzle, and I can like grab my own piece and add to it. Like just like DMX did, or KRS-One did, or Lil Uzi Vert did. You know what I'm saying? Like people just, you have an opportunity to do a lot. Like if you take it serious, look where Drake's at, look where Kanye West is at, look where Jay-Z's at, because they make dope songs. Like just like literally because they just go in the booth and think of some fly stuff to stay and make dope beats. It's like you can influence the world in a huge, huge way through the music. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing for me that I'm like, man, as my music grows, people are gonna want to know the person behind it. So more interviews like this happen on bigger platforms where more people are like, intrigued, and, they want to know more and kind of be more tapped in. Yeah, so,
Me and my pops, Floss over here, he always talks about like whenever somebody comes in, a new artist comes in and stuff like that, like he tries to tell them like, yo, do these podcasts and stuff like that, because like especially for like producers, because most of the time they're not the artists themselves either. And I feel like because everybody knows the name like Murder Beats and all those names and stuff like that, but some people don't even know what these producers look like. They don't know their life or anything like that, and they might be one of the most knowledgeable people to like talk to about the music, because they don't even gotta like be the face of it. They don't have to worry about that. For sure.
And I mean, I think what I see a lot of producers doing, like a lot of producers, I don't know their whole get down, their whole play and what they're doing. You know what I mean? But a lot of people chase placements. You know what I mean? And the mark of a real producer is breaking artists. Like Dr. Dre is the number one artist. Dr. Dre is the number one best producer of all time, not because he got the best beats or the best mixes, because he brought us the most artists. He gave the most artists their first hit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of producers, they don't know that. So they just be like, well, if I get a beat to Drake, I'm going to be on. And it's like, Drake already got 40 and Boy Wonder, and he already they going to do most of his album. You might get one on there, but don't nobody really care who did the passion fruit beat. Nobody asked. Some people in the industry probably are going to ask, and you're probably going to get some more placements, but you're just going to be chasing that wave all the time.
But just what you said, the reason why they're going to be chasing that producer, because they created the hit.
But if you give Drake his 17th hit, it's not as valuable as if you give Snoop Dogg his first hit or whatever. Mustard and YG, like that's why Mustard's 100%. Here, because he's giving, like he brought an artist here. The Neptunes had Clips and Khalees.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Roscoe P. Coltrane, even though he didn't blow, that was one of their artists. You know what I mean? So that's what the mode I be in, and I pay attention to instead of trying to. I could spend my time trying to get beats to a bunch of big-time artists and stuff, and I probably could and stuff, but then it's like, I want to build, like, Bad Boy. I'm trying to build Rough Riders. I'm trying to build Rockefeller. Right. I'm trying to build Rap A Lot. Like, I want Cash Money. Like, those are the things I'm trying to do. And I'm in a region in the IE that's between L.A. and Las Vegas. Like, if you think about that, that's like a hot spot. How could this area not become dope, like, and hot? And then everybody has a chip on their shoulder because it's looked at as like the little stepbrother, redhead stepchild of LA, or however the LA versus IE debate, even those things, because a lot of people from LA move out here. Just like my dad grew up in Nickerson Gardens. Oh, I could buy a house out here for $100,000. Cool. He's a firefighter. He like, oh, this is nice. My sister moved out here too. So people migrated. Yeah, everybody migrate out. That's why I think it just be the people that can't come out here. They get mad and be like, I'm stuck. You know what I'm saying? And they want to come out here because they like, nah, I'm just joking. But it's just like, it's just all SoCal at the end of the day.
Well, it's the biggest county in all of California.
Yeah, so it's like just a huge opportunity. So I'm trying to do what Dre did in 87 with Compton. I'm trying to do that with the IE. So when I see Cash Boy Tax and Gutter Mac do the damn thing, Blue Rags, I'm like, these dudes are stars. These dudes, this is the same thing that when I saw Nipsey in 08 and I saw Kendrick and I was just in the studio with him like, yo, bro, you're crazy. Like, you got crazy music. Like, and I'm wondering, is the world going to catch on to how good this is? And then a decade later, he's the best of the generation. So I'm like, I know what's good. I'm not, my favorites of all time.
Ninjas in Paris came from out here.
Yeah, Hit Boy. You know what I mean? So what Hit Boy is doing with Nas is incredible to see. Like Nas is like came to an IE dude and like he's shouting it out and like, yeah, it's just crazy. It's a hot spot. So I'm looking like, man, the next 5 years, if everybody just keep their head down and work, like we're gonna build something special out here. Like, you know what I mean? And you just really need one or two people to really break, and it'll spread eyes to Spank Nitty James and J.I. Benz and Doggy Style and King's Most Wanted and just all these different dudes that are kind of buzzing and got their name, you know, moving. It's like it just need a little bit of a more push and stuff. So it just need a little more unity, people collaborating with each other. And yeah.
Real quick, I just want to go back. What would you say to people that are really just, we know what the beat makers are, who they are, right? What would you say to a person who's just making beats, sending them to people, and just trying to flip a quick beat? What would you say to them to help them grow their business?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess it depends on what your long-term goals are. You know what I mean? What you really want at the end of the day. I wouldn't say don't chase the bag too much. We all got to get paid, but like I just feel like we all should be spending enough time in our lives with like chasing happiness and being as happy as you can be. So it's like, what makes you the most happy? I would say do that. But I would say also maybe find somebody like me, somebody that's in your local area, that's in your city. And people be talking about they can't find studios in their city and they can't find, like there's a me in every city. I don't care if you're in Maryland, Buffalo, wherever you at, there's a producer that's building, that got a spot, that's making tracks and looking for artists. So if you're a producer and you don't know how to do that, or a beat maker and you don't really have access to the artist, go to that label, that producer. A producer should come to me and be like, hey bro, I got beats for your artist and you should be willing to give up a percentage of your publishing at the end of the day because you're using that platform. If somebody wants to produce for one of my artists, Nakina, Cash Boy Tax, Lil Penny, it's like I produce all their music. That was the point, like for me to do it for my brand. So why would I?
Would you, if you were just making beats, because a lot of these beat makers, they don't really know how to structure a song.
Exactly.
Beats and they're just really 18 to 16 bar loops.
Yeah.
But we know there's more to it to create a song. Could they go to someone like you and say, hey, dude, here's what I got. I know they're cool. And you could kind of guide them or mentor them to structure an actual song. That you could.
To be real, that's why I went to music school.
Okay.
Because for the first 4 or 5 years, I was just guessing. And it felt like I was walking in a room with my eyes closed. You know what I mean? Like, and I just hated that. It's like if you're trying to speak and you only know the letters P, J, E, and Q. It's like, we can't have this conversation, right? Mm-hmm. So it just got frustrating after a while, like not being able to communicate what I wanted to do. So I would tell any producer, beat maker, go to music school. Spend the 2 years and go to music school. Music is something you can have a 50-year career in. Like, you don't have to rush it and try to like microwave it and do any of that. Like, treat it like you're going to be a doctor. Treat it like you're going to school to be a lawyer. Like, people treat music like it's just, oh, I'll just do something real quick. I'll see if it's going to work. Nobody goes to doctorate school and be like, I'm going to see if this is going to work. Like, no, you're committed and you have a process. You have to study. You have to do all of these steps to get to where you're going. Like, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I tell people, yeah, I've been doing this 19 years. Yeah, you should go to music school. Yeah, you should do this, all these different things, because more than likely your road to be more like mine more than Mustard's just out the blue, or you know what I'm saying? Like, but instead of looking at your
road is you've been making money. And so ultimately, like when you go to school, so if you're serious and like, hey, I want to do this and I want to make a living at doing this because I love to do it, you can graduate like you did, and you could legitimately go and start producing people. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, also the network of people that you're gonna meet there is like crazy, because everybody there is super like
motivated,
serious and motivated. Like, they're dead serious. So you're not around a bunch of people that are like, it can get deflating when you're around a bunch of people that aren't as motivated as you. So like, I would say find a mentor, find somebody you can get under their wing. That could be like how I went to music school, right? Or it could be somebody in your city that just be like, come to the studio, and you go to the studio 3 times a week and just sit in there 10 hours and watch them mix and just be like, hey, how'd that work? What's that? And you have to be a sponge, and curiosity is the key. If you aren't curious, you're just dead in the water. Like, you know what I mean? The curiosity is the key. So whatever you're the most curious about. But developing your own artist, I think, is the long-term thing, because then you're going to, in the best play, long-term best play, because you're going to develop your own sound. You don't have to chase other people's sounds and trying to like make music that sound like other people. You can develop your own thing and make everybody bend to your will. Drake and 40 just made their quiet hip-hop that feels like the snow outside in Toronto, and the whole world just bent the knee to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't be like, we got to make something that's for the West Coast, or we got to do this. No, they made their culture and they thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would say trust your instincts. Try to be dope at the end of the day. Don't try to whore it out, and be honest. Like, be true to it. Be authentic and be original. You know what I mean? Those are the things I try to be, is like original and authentic. Like, I don't try to copy nothing, or like, I can take influence from other things, but I'm not going to just flat out rip something or just bite it, like, because that was always looked down upon, you know what I mean? And now people just blatantly just rip something, and I don't know. It's just different. So, yeah. But, yeah.
That's all good. I wanted to ask you, having so many years in, like, the industry and stuff like that, being well connected, I want to know if you've ever had any like major artists you've been able to work with or put out EPs, albums, tracks with.
I mean, what I would say, Glasses Malone is probably the biggest and the one that I have the closest type relationship with. Like I said, like, this industry and stuff is about relationships, and like, so I don't really try to fake them or force them to a certain degree. Like, I've had a lot of features in different collaborations, Brian McKnight and Raphael Sadiq, the Eastsiders, like, Trady, and then Corrupt. I've done stuff with Problem, Absol, J-Rock, Dom, a few songs with Dom. I just did some new stuff with Nico G4. Like, my brand is, new legends, so I kind of be looking towards the future and stuff. It's like LeBron's cool, but I'll be looking at LaMelo Ball like, man, like, what is he gonna do? Like, he's the future, or Luka and stuff. I'm like, it's always about the next thing and stuff. So I'll be always like, I'll be trying to create that next wave and stuff. And so I'll try to identify those certain things. So yeah, those are some of the biggest artists. It's all just people out here on the West Coast.
Yeah, That's tight. So you're working with like a lot of the OG names and stuff. I fuck with Dom. Dom's hard.
Yeah, and it's funny, like you say, like, yeah, they OGs, but at the time they were the new guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah. So it's been a decade since all that stuff. So now I'm like trying to deal with the next generation that's in the IE and stuff because I helped foster some of those things in LA. I didn't deliver none of the hit records, but I delivered, some of the album cuts that were on albums and stuff like that. So now I'm just like, instead of even chasing that, you know what I mean? Because it's a frustrating feeling to send a beat out. They like, hey, we gonna use this. Like, yeah, I've had a lot of songs where they like, hey, we gonna put so-and-so on this. Like, this about to be da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, this about to go crazy. And then the album comes out, my song's not on there. And it's just like,
disappointments when that happens.
Yeah, it's like, and
you do
think,
the work.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, this is about to pay off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then when it doesn't, it's like, I got tired of like waiting for other people's approval and them trying to approve my music and then having to go through all these things like this person's approval, this person's. So it's like, I know what's dope.
Stop you right there. So that's the thing I like to focus on a lot. Most people, producers and artists, are constantly saying, when this person hears my music, they're going to go crazy. When they hear this, I agree with you. Don't wait for people's approval. Go do your own shit. And right now, California's got a missing gap. We ain't cracking like we were. Mm-hmm. So there's something that needs to come up right now.
Second time I get to go through this.
Yeah, great. So right now is a great time to get somebody cracking because if you do, remember when Game came out and he was blowing up and he was the savior of the West Coast or whatever? It's like that. It's like right now, if you come out with an artist that's bubbling and hot and takes off, you'll have the West Coast running again. You'll be the guy on the West Coast.
For sure. And I think the key is the producers producing artists, like not just producers or rappers or producers just uploading beats on YouTube and just hoping somebody take them, or rappers just taking beats off YouTube. No, get in the studio with a producer. Like, I don't care if his studio's in the garage and it's cold in that. You put a heater in there and cook. Make 100 songs together and shoot 30 music videos. Like, I'm giving y'all the sauce. And then sign up for Biz Talk. Like, you ready? but yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, it's like a simple formula. Even with my artists, it's like, I be trying to show people this. And I'm about to really give y'all like real game right now. And like, this is for real. If you look at having, you don't have to become Drake or Kendrick or anything to be successful. You could be like, if I get 5,000 fans, right, and you have them spend $200, and I'm talking hardcore fans. Like, if you in California and they in Texas and you got a show, they thinking about driving out here. Like, they attach your face on their body. That type of fan. Not just, oh, they stream my music. Like, no, like, fanatic, a real fan. You get 5,000 fans and have them spend $200 a year. Each one spends $200 per year on your brand. That's $1 million a year. You know what I'm saying? 5,000 fans, that's not, I can't do that. You can get 5,000 fans in your city. You know what I mean? No matter what city you're in. I don't care if you're in North Dakota. You can get 5,000 people in your city to rock with you. Then it's about selling a hoodie for $50.
Yeah, so they buy 10 pieces of gear or whatever.
Yeah. If you're a female, take 12 pictures and make a calendar. Boom, sell it. All them dudes that think you so cute and all that, sell it to them for $50. Forget them streams and all that. That's cool. But even if you get 1 million streams, that's $4,000. And then it depends on the speed that you get those. If they take way too long to get it, it might be $2,000. When you could sell 1,000 hoodies or some hats, you know what I'm saying? Just like Nipsey had his label with All Money In, but then his brand was the Marathon. You got the music is just the loss leader. That's the worm on the hook. People bought the Marathon. People bought into that. So, like, my brand is like new legends. Like I said, it's LaMelo Ball, it's the future, it's Nikina, it's Cash Boy Tax, it's Blue Rag. So when they like, man, these dudes is like the future, like it all makes sense together. They see like the music, the brand, all those things kind of make sense together, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And for those fans that you already got, they're gonna be like, oh shit, we have the OG shit, and they gonna rep it.
Exactly. You can, if you smoke weed, put your album cover as a weed rolling tray. You know what I mean? Sell that on your website for $20. Go find somebody who makes them. Don't say stuff like, well, who gonna put my album cover on a weed tray? Like, we living, you can find somebody to do it. Yeah. Go Google it. Like, you know what I mean? But all these type of things, like my artist Nikina, she had like customized lighters. You can get them from Bic. You just put your album cover on it and sell them on your website for $15 a piece. People that really love you and rock with you, you know, they gonna be like, hey, it's like having your rookie card. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I had Nikina stuff when she only had 10,000 fans. Like, you know what I mean? Before she blew up and I was already hip. That's like a social currency that people always use. It's like a clout thing. I was up on this before you, right? So if you create those items and those things for people and kind of give them that experience, they'll buy into it. You know what I mean? Even if you only get 1,000 people to spend $100 a year, that's $100,000 a year. Now you can sustain your music career. So I be just wanting people to be more independent, not looking for like, oh, I hope a record label comes and saves me and just swoops me up. Like nobody put me on. You know what I mean? I put myself on through my work and just grinding, like he said. You know what I mean? Didn't nobody just be like, hey, Mitro, come on, let me just put you in the spot. You know what I mean? No, like it just doesn't work like that. And people always say that, put me on. It's like there is no put you on. Like you put yourself on. Either you have it or you don't. You know what I mean? You have the results or you don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you have to earn those through your work, research, networking, charisma, personality, all of those things come into play. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I get that. Well, I wanted to bring up the fact that you talk about like, it's not someone's not gonna put you on. You know, you got to do that yourself. But you do have a business for social media that you help people out with. You know, trying to get that game up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's something that I've been doing since 2017. I built a social media marketing agency. It's called Biz Talk. That's short for Business Talk because it creates connections to the people that you really genuinely need to be connected to. And it was this problem that I had for myself back in 2015. I was struggling to get my music heard the way I felt like it needed to be heard. So I was like, how do I reach my target audience? So I kind of partnered with a few people, built this software out. And just long story short, it's like an automation tool. You would say it's a bot. And basically we send out likes, we send out comments. And these are customized comments that can go out to your target audience. So we'll take our client's page, say this, whatever it is they do. Say it's an artist, right? I do this for my own artists. All my artist pages, I do this for them. This is how I grew my page to 100K plus, over 4 years. And basically we send out comments and we'll like other people's pictures. And we can target people based on either hashtags, locations, or like a competitor's Instagram page. So say you make music like YG. I can target YG's page and then say we're going to interact with only the females on his page that have 10,000 followers and less, right? And then your page will start liking their pictures, and then we can send them a comment. We can customize the comment to say whatever you want. So then they'll say something like, hey, your page is dope or fire or something like that. And, check out my newest single. What you think? Since they already like YG music, they're going to get that comment on their page and be like, who's this? Mm-hmm. Then they go over to your page, and then subconscious, they think, dang, it's kind of like YG. Now they listening to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when you follow them and then they follow you back, we set up like a custom auto DM message. So then they'll go out and be like, hey, thanks for the follow. It could say whatever you want. You know what I mean? You have to just kind of think about it as a sales perspective and like as a business, and you're trying to get a customer. So then we could be like, hey, thanks for the follow. Check out my website right here, and you get 20% off if you enter this code. Now they're at your website and looking at your merch. And it's all coming automated while you sleep. My company, my software, what we're doing, we send out probably 300 likes a day to 500 likes a day for each client page. And then we send out about 200 to 300 comments. So this same comment will set up maybe 3 to 5 comments, and it kind of rotates. And then the people that are receiving it doesn't know that this is automated. They think you genuinely came to their page, liked 2 or 3 pictures, left them a comment. So now their interest is peaked. So you're going to have hundreds of people coming back to your page every day, interacting with your page, and then DMing you, and then it just creates a network that you would have never had. I found one of my artists, Nikina, the one that's going to be here. I found her because of my agency. My page just liked the picture on her page. We were having a showcase. She DM'd me and was like, hey, I want to perform at that showcase. And then I looked at her Instagram page and seen her singing. She was just singing in the bathroom and singing in her room. And I was like, dang, her voice is crazy. So then I just, a couple of days later, I just reached out to her and was like, hey, what's your situation? Who you working with? She didn't have, a team or anything like that. And I was like, well, I want to work with you. We met up, and I signed her, and now she just sang the national anthem at the Clipper game, and she has 4 EPs out and, 15 music videos and fan pages from Africa and all these different places and stuff now. So it's, dope to see, you know, to take something like a seed and just watch it kind of grow into like, so now we're trying to turn it into like a tree. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like a little plant still right now. It's still delicate. Got to take care of it. But yeah, we getting there, you know.
Damn, that's hard, bro. That's sick as fuck, low key.
And I tell people like, yeah, it's super. Yeah, and the packages is only $100 to $200 a month. So it's like a monthly thing that's super cheap. And to keep it very simple, imagine I send out 10,000 likes a month and 5,000 comments to your audience. They're going to come back to you. A percentage of those people are going to hit you up. Let's say 10% did. That's 500 people. What you do with them is up to you. You know what I mean? Like I said, sell them something. Like, you know what I mean? So buy a hat. NewLegendsBrand.com. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so, yeah, I've just learned a lot of branding and marketing stuff, and I just try to empower people independently because we in the era where you can do it yourself. You can, like, build your own thing. You don't have to, like, look for all these different handouts. There's so many platforms and resources. Flossie, your pops know back in the day, it was 3 outlets. It was either print magazine, radio, or TV. All you had to do was get on Rap City The Basement, and your video, you was good. You went gold. You went platinum. You were in the Source magazine, everybody seen it. You know what I mean? Or if you were on TV, like, or the radio, that was it. But now it's like, you can be on YouTube, you can be on a podcast, you could be, it's just Instagram, it's Facebook, it's Snapchat. There's so many places now where you can have a platform and, like, build something. It's just about building a community and an audience and stuff. And that's just a skill I think everybody's kind of getting into now. You know what I mean? I think as far as with social media, we now been playing with social media since MySpace. 20 years, we've been liking pictures and adding people and commenting. So I think people are starting to finally realize, like, I probably should make some money with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm spending a lot of time on this. So my agency, Biz Talk, is going to make your Instagram a lot more valuable to you. It's going to interact with your target audience for you, bring you the people that need to be connected to you, and help you build relationships that you would have never built. You know, so message me. We could talk about it, get you started. It's very simple, you know, super simple. A lot of people don't know about it. It's amazing to me that I've been doing this since 2015, and I'm still like, it feels like day one. Like 99% of people are still like, it sounds too good to be true. And I'm like, it's like if you told your little cousin, hey, sit on the couch and go like these people's pictures, and they just sat there and did it. I just have a software that just handles it and stuff, and it's not detectable through Instagram or nothing. It just brings you the result. So, yeah, it's the cheat code. Like, to be real, it's super the cheat code. So, yeah, we use it for this podcast. Yeah, I got to play for y'all.
So obviously you're a man of, hustling all 24/7. You've been telling me about all like the different stuff you've been pulling up back when you started music and stuff like that. But what's like going on from today on? Like, what's like your main focus, your next move? Is it going to be more just doing more stuff with your label, trying to make more music, make more companies?
No, I feel my main purpose is the music and stuff. If I do what my job do that, then I'll gain all the influence and things through that channel mainly. But so I'm gonna try to spread myself too thin. The main thing is just still building, my label. Everybody from Cashboy Tax, Nakina, Lil Penny, Jay Anders, Blue Rags. I drop a single on them every month. So that's 5 singles every month coming from my label. And then like every 90 days, each one of them are dropping like an EP, like a 8 to 10 song EP. So Cashboy Tax EP is coming February 4th, this Saturday. We just dropped one on Nakina a couple months ago called You Don't Understand. That was her 4th EP since 2019. You know what I mean? So she has like a good 45, 50 songs out. Lil Penny, female rap artist I'm developing. She has about a good 14, 15 songs. I've been working with her for like a year and a half. She has like 3 music videos right now. So I'll really just be focused on my own label, and like between all them, I stay so busy, like, because they're all like, oh, I want to come to the studio. I want to record. Like, and then I'm putting out a single for this one. Oh, we got to shoot a video for this. It's like, and then my son is shooting the videos for my label as well. So it's like I bought the equipment for that, and that's his passion of film and videography. He's here shooting stuff today. So, it's just all really home. I feel like if I just build this ship, it'll take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not in a rush or nothing like that. I feel like I'm just looking for the right partners, the right people that want to come in. To be real, I guess you would say investor type level type people, because I already have the vision, the product, the artist. Like, I already have all that. Really, all you can come do is pour like gasoline on it for the most part and just make more people see it and just collect a piece of it, really. You know what I'm saying? It's just not mess it up, I guess you could say, because when people hear the product, they're like, yeah. So that's just really the main focus is just building the IE, my artists, building timeless music. I'm always looking for new artists as well, but yeah, they just got to be elite. They just got to be special. You know what I mean? Every artist I pick is very special and like gifted in their own right in my eyes. You know what I mean? And also through their results.
Yeah. If somebody's trying to if somebody think they got that elite level for you, how should they hit you up? What should they look up? IG?
Yeah, you get me on Instagram, Mitro the CEO, MEETROTHECEO. That's the easiest way. I'm always on Instagram. Yeah, I would just say, you can find me on Twitter as well. But all my contact stuff is Instagram since I do a lot of business there. Like I said, with Biz Talk, I have about 200 clients that I'm managing their Instagram accounts and stuff as well. Excuse me. I'm managing their accounts. So, yeah, I'm always on there because that's a big part of my business and stuff. So everybody has an Instagram. Reach out to me on there. Send me a DM. I reply. Don't be intimidated. And even my phone number is directly on there, so you can reach out directly. Shoot me a text. We could schedule a call and figure out what your problems are and how if I can help you solve them. I might not even be able to help you solve them. If I can't, I'm gonna be honest with that. But I might be able to.
For sure. Make sure y'all hit them up. Also, check out the merch and everything like that.
For sure. Check out
right
everything.
Here, if y'all are watching the podcast, you can check it out right here.
It's the podcast with Prodigy. My podcast.